Hello, everyone. This is Fernando with Texas United Realty. Thank you for joining our webinar. I am the mentor, and I'll be introducing Ray. So I'm going to have Ray do a presentation regarding his company. It's called Property Management Incorporated, and he'll be talking about his company and what they're about and what their offerings are. And I believe this is a real good opportunity for all of us agents, because I know we've interacted with our clientele where they're asking us, oh, we need, we have several properties and we need somebody to manage those properties. Not sure how to do that. Sometimes they'll ask us that they wanted us to do it. And of course, many of you guys know that Texas United Realty, we don't have that capability. And the reason why we don't have that capability is because we don't have, we have to purchase extra liability insurance and other things. And I'm sure Ray can probably mention that if you guys are interested in that, how that works. But I'm going to go ahead and let Ray begin his presentation. So go ahead, Ray.
Thanks, Fernando. Thanks for the introduction. Appreciate that. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Um, our company is PMI Northwest Houston. So we do property management services mainly in the Houston market. It says Northwest Houston, that's how we started, but now we are managing from Conroe to Clear Lake to Katy and even further. So if there's any property anywhere that is a good fit, then we will do it. We do both residential management and commercial property management. A bit of a background about the company is we're a 5-year-old company, and uh, we've had a long-standing relationship with TXU. Our broker, who used to be the previous owner, moved to Austin, and then there was some break because of that in his communication with you folks. We took over early February, just got into the groove, understood all the existing clients, etc. And then we decided to reach out and connected with Fernando, and that's how we are here. So I'd love to be more regular in meetings with you folks, one-on-ones, and would be happy to answer any questions after the presentation at any time that you want. Our phone number is here. Uh, the email is here, and our website is also there for any queries that you may have. I wanted to give a brief overview of property management in general and how we can work together with you folks uh, to help our clients who are looking for property managers. A lot of the realtors that we're working with just became accidental property managers. They had two and three, and suddenly, they had a portfolio of 10 properties, not knowing what to do. It takes up a lot of time, and there are a lot of phone calls involved, and a lot of small systems that need to be followed, etc. That just sucks the time out of your day, and suddenly, before you know, the day's gone, and you really haven't achieved much if you're not doing it at a full scale. The way we work with realtors is if someone refers a property to us, they have a client who's looking for property management, a reference, we will give you a $300 rental referral. So that's a one-time referral for linking us with the client, provided the contract is signed and the property is leased. On top of that, we had always heard a concern from realtors saying that if I give you my client and 2, 3 years down the road they decide to sell, then I've lost the client. So we have a professional alliance guarantee that we've signed with various brokerages. And the guarantee is that we will not buy or sell real estate for your clients. If they ask us to do so, we will contact you and we'll hand them over back to you. So that's how it works. So you don't have to worry about the buying and selling part of it. The and like I mentioned, there's the rental referral fee as well. We're working on other possible avenues of partnerships that can bring in revenue to both the agents and ourselves. Once those things are developed, probably first quarter of the next year, then you'll hear a little bit more about that and how we can leverage our partnership even more. So typically, how I'll give a brief background of what we do as property managers, and feel free to ask questions, in the middle, at the end, however you wish. The idea here is to sort of make everyone aware of what the steps are. What does this business really entail? Uh, why is it best to have professional property managers do it instead of accidental property managers? Um, so let's say you have a client and they want to lease out their property. You can go on MLS or other sites like Zillow, etc., list the property, and then get a phone call from someone. Suddenly it becomes 10 phone calls, 10 people to see, talk to, probably even show property to some of them if they don't have an agent. Then you discuss back and forth with your client who's the best fit, run background checks on them, which is in itself a pretty thorough process that we do. And eventually everything is done, these documents signed, you get them placed in. First week, and they call in and they're like, oops, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, the toilet's broken, the kitchen faucet is not working, and suddenly you have to find the maintenance people to get and fix those things. This is just a start of this relationship, and then pretty much the same thing keeps on happening throughout the year. And end of the year, decide, okay, we don't want to live in here because property wasn't suited to us, etc., and they leave, and then you have to go through the same thing again. But now it's worse because now you have to probably go in, do inspections, and see if the property is in condition. Does it need cleaning, maintenance, etc.? Did they have security deposit or not? So there's a whole list of things that you have to see, check out, and then make sure that it has to be there or not. So in our case, we have a step-by-step process for all of these things. When we list a property, depending on the services that are chosen, it can go from 6 websites to 27 different websites. Um, Plus, once the calls start coming in, we have a full screening process within our system. So they apply through our systems, get screened through our systems, and then we decide, along with the owner, who's the best fit. We do background checks. We will see where they were living before, were they paying on time, any issues with evictions, bankruptcies, etc. After that whole discussion is done, we arrange for their move-in. We give them a week to identify any issues on the house. If there are any, we have our own maintenance team that will go in, fix them. Now, because we have a lot of volume of work, what happens is our rates are much lower than what you would do it with a one-time contractor. So those benefits then get passed on to your landlord. Um, and monthly rent collections, if they're behind rent, we charge them a late fee, we get the rents. If there's any issue in terms of non-payment, then the eviction process is there. That in itself is a whole process that needs to be understood, applied properly. We have partnerships in place with attorneys that facilitate that for us. Especially these last 16, 17 months were pretty tough for landlords because of the eviction moratorium that was in place. Thankfully, that's over now. We are seeing more evictions. Not that we would like to see them, but that's the that's the downside of renting a house. That if you don't pay, you have to leave, or even if ownership, and if you have to pay a mortgage. So we do the eviction part of it. Find someone else, get them in, and keep doing the process. We have, if it's an emergency, we have a 24-hour line that they can call in, and if it's really a bad, uh, emergency, then we will get it done then and there. But if it's bulb is not working and it's 2 a.m. at night, then we we try to explain it to them why it's not an emergency. Um, you see a whole spectrum of tenants in this. Some are very understanding. They understand what to ask, what not to ask. Some not so much so. And we have had calls from people who would say, the bulb is fused, and can you send someone in to fix it? So, these are the type of things that you have to deal with. Um, So here's a summary on the page, about the basic services, the highlight of the services that we do. And for our services, we charge a management fee of 8 to 10%, depending on what services they are asking for. Within these 8 to 10%, the rent collection is included. We do the accounting for the owners. We'll give them all the rent collection, expenses details, so that they have it for the tax time. There's a 24/7 portal that they can go in and log in their complaints or issues and stuff, and that gets taken care of. When we do the lease, we enforce all the conditions that were agreed by both the parties. Um, Tenant management, responding to their requests on time, etc. What we do, we have two programs for inspection for the asset preservation. So we do a 6 monthly regular inspection where we'll just call them up, drop by, have a look, and see if the house is all good and all. Um, if they have any maintenance that comes in before that, then our maintenance crew goes there and they give us feedback. We can go in with them if we're in the area. Um, and so twice every year we do this. In addition to that, we have a detailed inspection that's an optional service. It will be on the next page when we get there, but it's basically that at the end of the term, if the owner wants, a very detailed, thorough inspection, it takes about 2 to 3 hours, depending on the house size. We'll go in, do that inspection, prepare a report, and hand it over to the owner. Then it's really up to them that what do they think is absolutely necessary to fix and what can be deferred for a little bit longer. Um, we do offer analysis on what their property would be worth, something that you folks also do, but we also do rental analysis. What's the best optimum price point that they can list it at and have it leased faster and with better clients. Like I mentioned before, we have a lot of vendor relationships. So we leverage that partnership to provide, discounted service. And our vendors are all tried and tested. So we make sure that, everyone who works with us, because of the volume of the work, they have an interest to remain aligned with us. And we set certain standards that we expect them to follow. We also charge a one-time setup fee when we sign in the property management agreement with the owners. So that's for our time to set up the lease and everything, the set up the property management agreement on our systems, getting photos taken, getting a logbox on the property, arrange it with the showing service, etc. So that's part of the $100. We can go to the next page, Fernando. Now, these are the additional services that are on top of what we had on the first page. Um, if someone just wants a leasing only arrangement with us, and then they want to manage the property, we do it at a 1 month rent, and that's about it. We have a safe renter program, and this in itself is a pretty detailed program that we have, but we can talk about it probably in a different presentation. But what it does is, if someone is enrolled in this, we will send them air filters to the house. If it's has to be replaced every 2 months, then it goes to them at their door every 2 months, and they'll get it replaced. We do the rental reporting, so that helps build their credit scores. A lot of these tenants are looking to buy homes in the future, so this is one way of helping them build up their credit scores. There are a few more things in here that we can talk about. Eviction insurance is also covered in here with some terms and conditions. So things like that that are included in the Safe Renter program. It's an optional program that the landlord can get, and it's for $30 every month. Property checkups, and the inspection report I already mentioned earlier. MLS advertising is included in the part of that $100 and everything. So now we don't charge anything extra for it. Um, if there's a job in the house that someone wants their bathroom or kitchen remodeled, and it's a heavy job, but they also expect someone to be there to supervise the job, give them some information, then we'll charge them a project management fee, 10% of the total value of the job. A few of the things are related to the payment, like express pay and bill pay. We do offer, like payment of mortgage and utilities, etc., for $35 a month. If we have a lot of overseas investors who have their properties over here and they choose that service. Typically, for people over here, they don't. Then, if someone wants landscaping to be done, again, like I mentioned, with 10% service fee, we will do that. We can help with property tax protest and tenant placement only. I think that's repeated. So just like leasing, it's tenant placement, and we can do that also. So this is a summary of most of the services that we offer. The key ones that people have chosen to choose are listed on here. It mainly covers the residential aspect for property management, but on the commercial side as well, this applies. Maybe some of the things won't, but most of it applies on the commercial side as well. The rates are, of course, lower because it's the we typically will do it based on what services are offered, and commercial is a different beast altogether. So we'll have to first evaluate what exactly is needed, and then we will price the services and offer a proposal at that time. Um, so pretty much this is who we are, what we do. We'd love to, be partners with you and leverage each other's strength and, build our businesses. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. And yeah, like I said, the email is there, the phone is there, our website is available. So feel free to reach out to me anytime, whether it's for property management or any other thing that you feel that you have a question about, would like to just, discuss stuff. I'd be very happy to talk. So, Fernando, over to the folks. Whoever has a question, I'll be happy to answer.
Sure. One question I have, of course, everybody knows that Fernando's always asking questions. One of them was, I heard you say helping improve credit scores for the tenants. Did I
Yes.
hear that right? Where's
Uh,
that in the slide here?
so in the Safe Renter program, like I mentioned, we have a variety of services in here. So for that $30, what happens is if the once the tenant pays their rent on time, we report it to the credit agencies, and that
Wow.
helps build up their credit scores. It's it's big because a lot of the times when the tenants that we have, they have credit scores in the
Right.
600 ranges, and they want to, beat that 700 and above mark. So this just drastically helps them in 1 or 2 years to get to that level. And the advantage for the landlord is now, the tenant has some pressure on them to pay. If they don't, their credit score can drop. So the landlord also likes to have
Benefits. Right. Now, who pays for the $30? The landlord or the tenant?
the tenant.
Okay. How is this payment received?
So we'll set up through our system. We use PropertyWare. Um, I don't know if folks are familiar, but like Appfolio or Buildium, there's another one called PropertyWare that we use. They can go in there. We'll set up all their payments online, and come the first of the month, the payment is automatically deducted. A lot of people do it electronically, but there are still a few who would like to send out a check. So we receive checks also at our office, and then we make deposits. So that $30 will be added to the rental amount and handed over to us.
It's amazing because I try to, or because I'm a mentor, and I always tell my mentees, you know, especially when they're dealing with leases, I say, hey, see if they can get pre-approved to buy a house. And of course, the answer is probably going to be no. But when you get them in a lease, you know, be with them as far as send them, different messages like maybe a holiday cards, and touch base with them and always be interacting with them and say, hey, in 2 years, I want you to buy a house. And I said, that's our goal. You and I, we're going to be helping, I'm going to be, you can say being a pest, but I want you to, your goal is, I don't want you to rent all this all the time. I want you to buy a house. But I mean, I just multiplied $30 times 12 months. That's 360 bucks. And I think some of those credit companies that, I mean, those credit repairs, I think they actually charge $399 to help you improve your credit.
Right.
So I'm thinking 360 versus 399. I think that's a big difference.
And the right,
I
and
just
the,
added it, I'm like, man. And then you don't feel, I mean, $30, I know it's money, but how much do we spend when we go to Cheddar's for to eat? Or now when everything's gone up in price nowadays. I mean, 30 bucks. I mean, that's like some people smoke cigarettes, and I'm sure they spend more than $30.
and
But
thirty
that's really good.
dollars, Fernando, $30 doesn't only include the credit reporting.
Right.
Filters are mailed as well. So, air filters, they have a cost to it because we buy in bulk, we get a discount. So those are mailed. There is a um, how do I say it? So y- people have heard about the dark web and all those things, where your information is stolen and stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
if they sign up, they will be offered that protection also, that
Wow.
their online ID is not stolen. So this is a very
Yeah.
comprehensive package with a lot of benefits that we
Wow.
for
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Because I think it costs maybe $25 a month for protecting your identity. I think that's how much it is. I don't know. Might be more. But wow. I mean, even if it's $15 a month, that's still, I
Right.
mean, here you pay 30 for a lot more. That's my point.
Yes, yeah, for everything really, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's enough for me. Does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah,
Uh,
I have a question.
sure, go ahead.
Um, how much would you say, so on average, how many of the leases are 12-month leases? And then just kind of curious to see how common 24-month leases are.
Um, Most of them are 12 months. I would say maybe seven. I've never done a number, but maybe 70% are 12 months, because people, when they are coming in, they are thinking, okay, I'll just rent for a year, and suddenly it becomes two, unless somebody is really sure that I'll be living here for two before I buy a house or move out. Um, as property managers, we love 2-year leases, because every year if you have to find a new person, place them in, that's added cost for the owners. And then the owners start to think, hey, is it even worth it? Because it's not that they're losing a lot of money, but the perception of paying a month's rent two times versus just one time over 24 months is, oh wow, I've lost so much. It could just be $2,000 over 24 months or $1,500 depending on the rents. And then the other expense that comes in on 12 months is the cleanup. Hopefully no damage has been done, etc. Both make sense financially for the owners, but 24 months is our preferred way, and we do offer that. If you do a 24-month.
Yeah, that's a good question. Any other questions, guys? Another thing while we're waiting is this 300 rental referral. That's really, really good money, guys. And
Mhm.
I, the big bills are coming up. The hard dues, $700 are due December 31st. The TER dues are going to be due, the 179. All these dues are coming, and and I know several of us work with investors, or we know people that are renting their house out, and they might be complaining to you already that they wish that you were a property manager so they could just say, here, I can't handle this renter. There's Ray's contact information. Say, hey, talk to Ray. I already spoke to him once, I listened to his presentation on a webinar. And Ray, of course, there's a disclaimer here. It says referral fees paid once signed contracts and leases are done. And then you're going to get $300 referral. If you do 10 a year, how much is 300 times 10?
Hey, Fernando, how much of that $300 does the brokerage get?
What broker?
No, TER does it
No,
go
we don't
straight
get
to the
nothing.
agent?
No, this is between Ray and you.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, well, hey,
what Laura is saying is that we have a referral program inside TER where if another agent refers a client to us or vice versa, there's a referral fee, but that referral fee is between the agents, and typically they're 20 to 25%. This is we're not talking about that. This is a referral from Ray to you that you sent him a client. It has nothing to do with TER.
Okay.
But that's a good question. So guys, we can make money just by doing this.
You're right.
Hey, Fernando, can I ask another question?
You can ask 10.
Okay, all righty. So first off, thanks for doing this webinar. I really appreciate it because I do have a lot of folks that are interested in buying properties. And what can I tell them as far as like a min and max to expect the property to sit vacant in between clients, or rather, what days on market would you tell people in your experience to expect to lease it out?
Sorry, so your voice was cutting out, but is the question that how long does it take to get it leased out?
Yeah, what would be a min or a max that you tell folks to reasonably expect within that min and max for days on market?
Right. So it depends a little bit on the season. So for example, in July, August, when we put a house for lease, we would get 10 applications in a day. And we would be struggling for, oops, that's like too many. And, probably we'd be screening 30 and just say, hey, no more. Because out of 30, you would find someone who's good. When middle of October comes in, we see a significant drop. And that could be, 10 in a month or maybe 20 in a month. But middle or early December, it starts to pick up again because people are anticipating the January move sometimes. But this month, the October, November tends to get slow. So the worst I would say is we couldn't lease it because the owner was asking for too much rent. So in that area, for example, it was an apartment. The rents were 800, 850. She was expecting 1150. So it was leased. There were a lot of showings, but it did not get leased out. So we just said to her, we couldn't. If you want, we can cancel the contract, no fee to you. And we returned even the setup fee. Normally we don't do it, but in her case we did it. She's an older lady, needed it for her retirement and everything. Now, what happened as soon as we gave it back to her, I got a call from someone saying, hey, I need a property. And I called her. She says, I have a realtor who's now working for me. So call him. I called him and we got it leased for her. So that happens. But typically within a month is the maximum that we've seen, unless, we're being unrealistic with the rent or the property condition is very bad. and he doesn't want to fix it, she. But it can get as fast as a week to 2 weeks. We encourage landlords to have the property vacant when trying to get it leased. Otherwise, a lot of the times it's a logistical nightmare with the tenant inside and agents trying to see the property. It can be done, it's just more difficult. But you can say within a week to a month. A week is on the shorter side because whoever is coming in has to do the paperwork and everything. And then they probably have to serve a notice or have already left that place, are moving. But a week to a month would be a reasonable time frame. So 2 weeks would be an average.
Okay, I have a question. Say for instance that you refer a multi-property over that has like 4 units. Is that referral fee for each unit or just that one property?
For each unit. So
For each unit?
for times 4.
Okay, so it'd be
Man,
4 times 3.
I'm leaving right now to go find clients. Bye. I mean, guys, y'all can. Oh my goodness. If y'all don't go out and look for clients tomorrow, it's just like
I'm with you on that, Fernando.
he's giving you $300. Let's do it.
Per unit. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, oh, I'm too excited. I just love money.
Yes.
I mean, anyway, any other questions, guys? We got the source here, a property management CEO actually talking to you guys. So now's your chance to ask them different kinds of questions regarding property management.
And remember, no question is a bad question. There are some very, very basic questions. It's always good to ask and get them out of the way because you have to ask them at one point. So here's a chance, just ask.
Hey, Ray,
Okay.
I'm gonna show the website real quick.
Sure.
Just so you can kind of show them the.
Okay.
So HoustonPropertyManagement.net, is that what it is?
Yeah. So when you search for PMI Northwest Houston, this comes up. This is how the name was assigned to us. We're trying to get something more, shorter or more catchy, but
Right.
then all that Google listing and stuff, that gets.
Yeah, but it's a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
I got you. But yeah, guys, I mean, this is something that a lot of us are going to be involved in. This is especially during the holidays. I mean, you're going to be talking to people during the holidays, and you're going to hear a conversation. I promise you. Oh, I'm getting sick and tired of these renters, and I'm thinking about selling my house, but I don't want to sell my house because I'd rather rent because it's good money. And you can say, I got a solution for you. I know this guy, and he's going to take care of you.
And the other thing that's happening, I'm sure you are all aware, is that, a lot of the hedge funds are buying properties up all across the country, and Houston is a hot spot for them because of the, med center, the oil industry, etc. It's a big city. It's 4th largest in the US. So they're buying up, and then their challenge is to rent them out and now how to get these managed. So if you can get in touch with those folks, you can do their buying and selling, because if it doesn't rent out and it's a bad property, they might be willing to sell it, and then you can link with them as well. So probably if you can be a part of some investor groups or clubs, you might run across all these people, do a lot of buying and selling for them, and vice versa. If they come to us through you, then we'll definitely refer them back to you. We don't do a lot of buying and selling internally. It's not really our strength, I would say. So if I find someone, I might just say, hey, here's a good company, TXU, over to Fernando and his team, and talk to them, and they'll help you out. So our weakness can be leveraged by your strength. So if you refer, then that's another thing that we do. Sometimes it's an easy sale and we will do it, but if it's a little complexer stuff, we generally just pass it on to our alliances.
Hey, Ray, I
Ray,
have
somebody's
another
asking
question.
what Ray, somebody's asking you what your last name is, and I'm going to tell them that you don't have a last name. It's kind of like like Cher,
What, like
Oh,
Madonna.
it's on.
it's not?
Okay, I
No,
have
but
another
Ray, what's
question.
your last name? Somebody's
Yeah,
asking.
my name is Ray Ansari, Ansari. Ray is
Oh,
the
that's
short.
short.
Yeah, go ahead, Laura. You were saying.
Okay. Yeah, it says on this bottom of the paper, it says referral fees paid once PMI Northwest Houston signs contract. Oh,
Yeah, I'm
no.
gonna blow it up here.
Right, and leases the property.
Okay. And it says details in professional alliance guarantee
Form.
form.
I mean,
What's
basic.
that all about?
So we'll sign an agreement with you at that time. It's a one-page document, but basically it says is, let's say you refer us a property, before unit 1, and we list it on the market. The owner comes back in a week, and he or she says, "Hey, I'm not interested anymore." So we just return it back to them. So if we cannot um, retain a client, then we don't pay the fee. But if we lease it out and everything is done, then the fee is yours. So I mean, we need enough time to get it done, and a realistic expectations, and that's why the disclaimer is there. So that's the way we have structured it. So once the property is leased out, the referral fee is paid. So let's say you refer someone to us, they could take, let's say, 3 months to sign a property management agreement with us. And then eventually after 3 months, they might say, hey, not now, we changed our mind. So that's why, once the agreement is signed, the property is leased, then we pay that amount.
Okay. Thank you.
Makes
You're
sense.
I'm sorry. I'm always looking at the fine print.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Those are good questions.
No. Mhm.
Okay, guys, I know it's getting late. Anything else before we wrap it up?
Okay, so Ray, this is your cell phone number at the bottom?
That's our office line.
Yeah, that's your office line? Okay.
Yeah, but I think on our website we have the cell phone number as well, but I can give it to you.
Yeah, go ahead. What is it?
Is it what's up?
I'll just
Okay,
type it in the chat.
okay, 907 9010. Okay.
Sorry, it's in the chat. So I just typed
You see
it in.
Oh, okay.
Do you see the
In the
chat?
chat. Okay. Yeah, it just disappeared. Sorry, I was going up there.
I mean, do you
Alright.
see the chat? Because I'm showing it. I don't know if everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't text them after 9 o'clock. No, just kidding.
That's right. We know that.
No. I'm just kidding.
I know. Okay, now
Ray, you guys are also realtors. Or do you have a Trek license? How does that work?
Yeah, so like I said, Kenna is still the broker of the company. He manages their real estate part of it. I have a realtor license as well, but I don't do the
Right.
buying
You just
stuff
need it because of the business.
because of the business.
Right.
okay.
And
Okay.
one thing I like, guys, is that they don't steal our clients. So
Okay, well, that's good.
yeah, because not many I don't think any property management company does what Ray companies does, their business model. And I mean, because renters sometimes rent for 7 years,
Yeah.
and guess what? Once I hope you're sending them holiday cards every year, but
Mhm.
eventually, hey, guess what? Pearl, I'm ready to buy a house. And then they're like, oh, great, and thank you for all the Christmas cards you've been giving me for 7 years. Oh, no problem. Then, but let's just say they forget to call you, and they're talking to Ray, and then Ray checks his database and goes, oh, Pearl sent this client 7 years ago.
Right.
Guess what Ray's going to be doing? Hey, Pearl, guess what? Because they might have lost your phone number because you never sent them Christmas cards.
That's right.
And that's what realtors do. They do a
That's
sale
true.
and then they
Mhm.
forget to follow up with the client,
That's so true.
you
Yeah.
know, and then they get mad because they found another realtor.
Yeah.
But you,
Talk about
but you
that.
never sent them a Christmas card.
Right. Do you have a CRM that you use?
Well, I'm an old-fashioned guy. I use my iPhone to
Excel?
yeah, I use Excel and I do auto filter.
Okay.
And I check to see who moved in on a certain
Okay.
date, and then I send them texts like during the freeze. I send all my clients texts going, "Hey, are you guys okay? Do y'all need anything?" During Hurricane Harvey, I send them a text. I say, "Guys, do you need anything?"
Okay.
You know, I also, some of them that give me their birthdays, I send them through text to say, "I'm happy birthday."
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Yeah.
It's simple things to do. And I
Yeah.
tell people, use your iPhone as an extension or
Right.
Android. I don't know, it doesn't matter. But I'm sure there's a reminder in there. And it flags you
That's
going,
true.
"Hey, today's somebody's birthday." Oh, send them a text. "Hey, happy birthday."
Hey, Fernando, I'm upset. You didn't text me happy birthday.
Well, I do it to my clients that, no, it's,
Yeah.
no, I consider all my mentees my clients too, but sorry, I didn't text you your birthday.
You're
I
not
don't
in
know
the
your birthday,
database.
but
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
yeah, no, no problem. No problem.
Well, hey,
Uh,
speaking of Christmas cards and holidays coming around the corner, on December 7th, 2021 from 4 to p.m., District 249, save the date for our holiday party, raffles and door prizes. You need to RSVP to Holly at Allegiance Title, okay?
Okay. So you're gonna post it on the
We already did.
Facebook? Oh, it's already there? Okay.
Yeah. But I'm going to be sending an email tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Laura, for that. Okay, guys, I
Yeah.
know it's already past everybody's bedtime. Anything else before we wrap it up?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ray and Fernando. This is
You
really
bet.
helpful. That's
Yes.
good.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Ray, for your time. I really appreciate it too.
Okay,
Thanks,
take
Ray.
care.
And
Bye.
I think we're gonna see Ray at the holiday party. So he already, I think,
I'm planning to be there. Yeah.
yeah, I
It'll be
got him
good
on
to
the
see you.
webinar saying he might be joining us as a sponsor. Hopefully that'll come true, depending on his schedule. All righty, guys.
All right. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Fernando.
Thank you, Ray. Really
everyone.
appreciate your time.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.